In this video, we're going to go through the Reports module. And we're going to cover two main areas, the financial part and the POS part. To access your reports, go to the left side menu and click on Reports. Let's start with the financial section. The first and main reports that you have for your Intuit account are the cash and your sales report. Let's start with the cash. The cash report will display all receipts. That means all the money that's going in or outside the business. So whenever you receive a payment or whenever you issue a refund, this is the report that's going to display that information. The first thing we'll notice is the receipts number are available here, the user who made them, the client, the supplier, the date, the description, whether it's a payment received or a credit note refund, the notes, so if this was sold for a specific package, it will be displayed here, the payment method, how did you receive that money, the currency, the amount in the original currency, and the amount in USD, in case you have multiple currencies. Of course, you are able to add more columns by clicking on the Edit Column button here, and you will be able to display more information, such as if you have commissions, they will be displayed accordingly. Now let's look at some of the filtration options that we have. First off, of course, we are able to set the date that we want to see. From today, yesterday, this week, this month, the whole year, even a custom date, and you'll be able to click and drag to the specific duration or time frame that you need. Let's say, for example, I want to take from the 15th until the end of the month. Click Apply, and the information will reflect accordingly. I am also able to click on Report Options and choose from several different filtration methods. I can see them per month, per user, per payment method, per user and per payment method, per branch and transaction type, per branch, as detailed, or per week. Let's take a look at a few of them. Let's start with the per month. This gives us, based on the duration that we picked, the full amount based on specific days or the start of a specific date. If we pick as detailed, however, this will provide us the invoices of those receipts included. So that means we are able to see more information and more details. Let's take a look at the payment method on top here. It's displaying the different payment methods with the total amounts received from each of them, as well as the full total, of course. And if we look at the columns, we have the same sections that were displayed, and including a reference transaction, which is the invoice, and the reference allocation, which is the amount of the invoice. Let's go back to the simple view that we were seeing. You notice that the total is always displayed on top, and if we look on the right hand side, we are able to export that report to an Excel sheet. Now, let's take a look at our sales report. Our sales report will display all transactions that has been sold, whether they are paid or not. They will be displayed here. We'll notice we've got the invoice number, the user who made it, the client, the date, the time the invoice was made, the description or the package that was sold, the currency, the amount. If any discounts were given, they will be displayed here as well. If you have any taxes or VAT, they will also be displayed, and of course the total. So if we notice here, the total is actually the amount plus the VAT. The sales report will also provide you the same filtration options, whether it is by date or by clicking on the report options and choosing the specific method you want to see. Let's go with as detailed as well. Now we notice in the invoice, it will give us option to be able to see different transactions type that are happening. So for example, from the invoice item, I can see the packages alone, the product items, that means any item or merchandise that we sold, the reservations, and any other transactions that are happening. We have the total sales, the total VAT, and the total net sales. We can also see them per payment method. That means if I only want to see everything I sold in USD, I can choose Cash USD, remove everything else, click refresh, and it will display all the Cash USD related transactions. Of course, you also have the option to choose whether you want it outside your date range or within the date range. An export option is also available for the sales report to export it to an Excel sheet. Payment reminders. When you're selling a package, you are also able to input a payment reminder. That means the client will have to pay that transaction at a later specified date. So if we look at the payment reminder report here, it will display all the information needed, such as any description that was added, the client's name, their phone number and emails, the amount, the due date, and it will give us actionable buttons, such as receiving the payment, mark as paid, or deleting it. An export button is also available for this report. Class earnings. From this report, we are able to get all the information needed on how our classes are performing from a financial perspective. Let's take a look at March. We're going to select the date, click apply, and this will display all the classes that were active in the month of March. Let's take a look at it together. We can see all the classes divided by sections. And of course, at the end of each section, we'll see the earning, the net earning, any sessions owed, that means clients who attended the class without having a membership, if any clients have unlimited memberships, and the number of attendees. And of course, each class will have its own earning, its own net earning, and its own tax. We are able to see the individual attendees of each class, of course. Now, if we click on the report options, we are able to filter this report by either class, as it's displayed now, by instructor, where we'll be able to see each instructor's classes individually, by class schedule, which will give us the timing and days of specific classes grouped together, by category, and lastly, by class level. So if you do have different levels, you can select this and it will give you the multiple levels classes grouped together. And of course, you are able to select the specific branch if your business has multiple branches. The total earnings and the net earnings will be displayed at the top of the page. And of course, you are able to export that report to an Excel sheet. The appointment earnings report is similar to the class earning. However, this is related to your private sessions. From here, you'll be able to see the different type of services that you offer, including how many sessions owed there are, any unlimited membership, the earning, the net earning, and the tax amount. Of course, the total is displayed under each section. You are also able to filter this report by either instructor or level. The voided sales are any invoices that were refunded, so a credit note has been created. If you'd like to know how many credit notes were created within a certain duration of time at your business, just get access to this report, click on it, and it will display them accordingly. As you can see, we can see the staff name, the number of the credit note, the amount, to which invoice that credit note relates to, and of course, the invoice amount. Make sure to select the specific dates you want displayed in the report. Now, let's go down to our POS section. Our POS report contains two different reports, one related to stock movement and one related to your POS sales. Let's start with the stock movement. This report will display to us all the items that are going in and out of the business. If we take a quick look together, we're going to see the item names here, their brands, the categories, the opening balance. That means what's the total number of the amounts that we have. How many items went in within this specific duration of time, and how many items went out. Let's take a look at an all-time basis to get an overall view. We can see, for example, for tennis armbands, 14 items went in, we sold 8 of them, and we have 6 remaining at the end balance. We can also see the stock value. That means how much did we pay for our stock to get it, and the sale value, how much will we earn once we sell it. We are able to filter that report either by grouping them by branch, grouping them by supplier, by any items that do not contain stock, or show them as detailed. We are also able to export that report to an Excel sheet. Now, each of our transactions here are clickable. Let's click on the tennis armbands. This will show us the full movement history of that item. That includes the ID, the inventory, whether from a variance or an invoice, the date and the time, the quantity, the cost and price, and of course, whether the item went in. That means we added stock, or out. That means we sold it. And we are able to view each of them individually. Now, let's take a look at our POS report that shows us all the sales we made in our merchandise. As you can see, this month we don't have any data yet, so let's go to March. From here, we can see all the invoices displayed, the client names, the transaction date, the code of that item, the item name, the brand, its category, what's the quantity that we sold, how much it cost us, and how much did we sell it for. If we offered any discount, it will be displayed. The net selling price, the profit we made, the tax, the net profit, and of course the status. We are able to filter this report by clicking on Report option and choosing whether we want to see it as simple as it is displayed now. We can choose per item, and this will divide our report per specific items and group them together and give us a total for each one. We can group them per brand. It will group the items per brand and give us a total for each one. Per category, and per best sellers, which will display for you the top items that were sold at your business. Of course, you are able to choose a specific branch or a specific warehouse. And if you would like to see the items that do not contain any stock, you can choose non-stock item, click apply, and it will display those items accordingly. If you want the payment info to be displayed, click on show payment info, click apply, and it will show you the payment information.